Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dec and Dan discuss Arrow. This is the show where we talk about Arrow. And in today's episode, we are going to be reviewing Arrow Season 1, Episode 5, which is entitled, Dan, please?
Damaged.
Damaged, that's it, that's the one.
Because he can't even remember that. You don't... So unintellectual.
Indeed. And this episode was one I was really excited to actually go back to because I remember this one just being a lot of fun and also just really has some awesome moments, especially by the end of the last episode. It really kind of, based on where that ended with Oliver getting arrested and stuff like that, there was bound to be some cool stuff in this. But before we dive into that, we want to just talk about the Arrowverse in general a little bit and also the episodes of today and stuff like that. Have you watched Legends yet?
Oh shit, I knew there's something I didn't watch.
I mean, I watched it. It was alright.
Yeah,
that's all I knew to say about it.
I knew I spent way too much time doing my Arrow ranking video because I knew in the back of my mind I'd forgotten to watch something that wasn't Supergirl and it was Legends. God.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, to be honest. Like, it was alright. I've seen some people talking about how this episode and a lot of the episodes recently have really been like, bringing it back to its, kind of glory. I don't think it's there yet. It's
no,
or even really close yet.
So the only thing you can say is it's better than season 4, but that's not much of an improvement.
No, it's better than season 4, but I wouldn't say it's as good as season 1.
That's low.
Which, depending on who you are, is pretty telling. I mean, I quite like season 1, so for me it's quite far off. But there are people who really don't like season 1, so it depends. Then there was Supergirl from today, the directorial debut from Melissa Benoist.
In an episode that you described to me as shit.
Yes. I believe the word I actually used was crap.
Okay, crap. All right, then, Benjamin, mark that word down next time you do anything with him. He called Melissa's episode crap.
I'm sorry, but even I, who was excited to go see this episode because I thought, well, this is because it was a Lex episode, like a Lex-based episode, I was like, oh, that's going to be cool. I just found it so boring. I was like, I just don't care. Like, this Leviathan storyline is so dragged out, and they haven't explained anything about it. Like, I don't understand what Leviathan is. I don't understand who they are. I don't understand what they're trying to do. I get that Lex is trying to manipulate them and basically make it seem like he can stop them, so when he does ultimately do that, he can be perceived as a hero, even more so than he already is. I get that, but I don't get what Leviathan's trying to do and how it links into the Obsidian North project and all that stuff. I just don't get it. Like, there's this whole thing where Leviathan are trying to trap people in VR. But why? Why are you trying to do that? Like, what's your goal here? Like, I just don't get what Leviathan's trying to do. If you can explain it in the comments, feel free to do so. Because I would love to be educated, because I'm really struggling with this season, because I just don't get it. It might be just me, but, this is one of the things I pay attention at, the most, more than most things, are these shows. And even I don't get it, so I don't know.
And bearing in mind, this guy can easily lose track of things if they're not clearly well explained. So he's tried his best to follow this storyline. I can tell you that for a fact.
Yeah, I'm thick, so if I need a lot of help here, and Supergirl is not doing that. That's why I like these shows. They're very simple.
Apart from The Flash.
Apart from The Flash, and I was just about to say on the subject of The Flash, this is coming from the guy who, when he watched Season 2 for the first time, after the finale of Season 2, I had to sit there for about 10 solid minutes trying to just figure what everything meant, and who, the doppelgangers and all that stuff, wrap my head around that. Anyway, it wasn't very good. I was just bored by it. And also, I don't like this idea of what they've done with Eve Tessmacher. I didn't like it in season 4 when they brought her back anyway.
Nah, they've destroyed her character. She was just like this kind of quirky character that came in once and then, every now and then, it's like, now, she's a villain.
Now she's like an actual serious character who's like pining for the affection of Lex, and I'm like, I don't care for it. I don't understand what her point is, because she kind of works for Leviathan, and then Lex in this episode's like, because this episode takes place over like basically from the end of Crisis up until now. That's where it takes place. so it's kind of like it takes place in multiple different times, and you just kind of see her arc kind of develop. But it was fine. I just don't really care. And then there's a really cool returning character though. I won't say who it is, because I know you've not seen it yet. Unless you want me to say it, I don't really.
You can spoil it. I really do not care.
Okay, so the returning character is Magan, so Miss Martian. She shows up in this, which was nice. I do like her a lot. I liked her character.
Well, I almost forgot she existed. I had to think about who it was.
Yeah, she does show up again, which is weird because I kind of think, why hasn't she showed up before now? Because we've not seen her since, I think, season 3?
Yeah.
I think. I've always been wondering when they're going to bring her back. She just shows up out of nowhere, which I was like, why? What? Like, because it was Malefek who sent her, apparently. But I was just like, I was very confused by her return. As great as it was, and I liked her being there, she literally just shows up, helps Jean with like this one thing, and then she's gone again. So I was like, well, that's great. You know, given the fact that Jean was meant to actually have a good story this season.
Typical Supergirl. Told you, Jean has never had a good story. He's either had crappy gun control plot lines, which have just been so awfully amazing. Either that, or he's had that fucking one that he had last year with Manchester Black, which went nowhere. And then he just, oh my god, they've screwed over John so badly on Supergirl. I feel sorry for David Harewood.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel sorry for him.
Yeah, because he's genuinely great as Jean, and then it's just, you get stuff like this where, you know, Magan is a big character for Jean, and like, they have a lot of history, there's a lot of meaning between those two characters, and then she just shows up for like 5 minutes, and then she's gone. I'm like, what was the point? As much as I enjoyed seeing her again, I was like, I could have done with like a whole episode, really, rather than just her showing up out of the blue. But yeah, not a good episode. I'm sorry, Melissa. The direction wasn't bad necessarily. There wasn't really anything bad about that.
It didn't stand out.
No, it just didn't stand out, and I just thought it was kind of boring, to be honest.
Oh, he's firing shots. Benjamin, he's firing shots at your girl.
Just didn't care for it. Didn't care for it. Easily one of the... Well, actually, it wasn't as bad as the last episode. Episode 16 was dreadful. But,
yeah, but there's a lot of...
episode.
Oh, God.
So bad. I was literally just like... And I was excited for that episode as well, because I was like, oh, yay, Alex gets to be Supergirl, as she should be.
I think what it is that you're hyping up Supergirl too much. You're trying to turn it into this show that it's never going to be, which is a good show.
I'm trying to ride on the back of, like, the last handful of episodes from season 4 where it was like amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, Lex gets an amazing wig in this episode as well.
Oh, I've seen the wig. The wig looks amazing. I mean, it's not as good as Renee's wig from the Flash Forwards. Nothing will top that wig. That wig deserves its own show. They should just give Renee's wig its own show.
I mean, I need Green Arrow and the Canaries just for that alone.
Yeah. And if they want to, that wig can cross over into Legends, because I'm sure Legends wouldn't be opposed to doing something as stupid as that.
Yeah, just stick Renee on Legends with that wig. Sorted. They did actually mention Wild Dog on Legends last week, I seem to recall. They actually, like, name-dropped him. They name-dropped Wild Dog, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they actually name-dropped Wild Dog. I think it was Nate who did it. But anyway, do you want to talk about Batwoman?
Yeah. So we had a new episode of Batwoman last night. I decided to watch that instead of Supergirl because Batwoman is better than Supergirl. Hot take. Also, it's directed by James Bamford, who, of course, if you're an Arrow fan, you'll obviously know him. He's stunt coordinator, executive producer, director. He directed this episode. And yeah, Batwoman's just getting better and better. It's honestly, I'm amazed by how good Batwoman is now compared to how, like I say, me and you were just not looking forward to it at all going into the pilot. And then now, like I say, especially since post-Crisis, I think it's got potentially an argument to be alongside Flash as the best show at the moment. In fact, at this point, and this might be controversial, if we're basing it off since Crisis, I'd actually say Batwoman's been better.
Than the Flash?
In my opinion, yeah.
Damn.
But that's only
Batwoman, because obviously I'm watching it in the UK, so I can't comment on that. But especially, it just surprises me because obviously I have been watching the Flash, and I've loved the back half of the Flash.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is that I think Batwoman in the back half since Crisis has been more consistent. Because whilst I've really liked the Flash, there have been a few times where I've been like we did last episode of Flash, and there was quite a few things that I wasn't too keen on. A lot of big problems I had with it. You had the episode with that we had with Aminette Black, which I didn't like. I didn't like that episode at all.
Yeah.
Because that just really disrupted the flow of the storyline. Whereas with Batwoman, I just feel like it's consistently got better and better, and I've just enjoyed every single episode. And this episode was no different. I mean, we go to Arkham, we have Tommy coming back, basically transforming into the Hush that we know from the comics. And I will just say right now, because we've got so many idiots online, they're like, "Oh, he looks like a mummy." That's how he's supposed to look.
That is how.
All right.
That costume is so accurate.
I know. Honestly, I was surprised by how good it was for considering CW budget. I think it looks really good. And the action in the episode was amazing. Probably some of the best action that we've had on Supergirl, which is saying something, because there was an action sequence that I don't mention, but it was from the previous episode that was pretty amazing. It was like a whole one-shot sequence. It feels like something that James Bamford would have done. And in this episode, he's just amazing, knocks out the park, just so good. It's just weird to think the fight choreography, in my opinion, I thought it was okay for the first half of Batwoman, but in this back half, I think the stunt team and the actors have just really worked on it a lot better, because the action's just far better. And I think, like I say, as you start watching it week in, week out, you'll realize it. It's just so much better. I'm just really enjoying the story a lot more as well. Really enjoying that a lot more. And yeah, just another really good episode of Batwoman. Just really loved it. And I can't wait to get into these last few episodes. Again, it's a shame that, like I say, with this and The Flash, that they're ending early, because I think they're just proving to be such strong seasons. And it's just a shame that the story's going to come to a close a bit too soon. But I'm still looking forward to it. And yeah, just great as usual.
Yeah, it's definitely... it's kind of a shame just seeing all these things end. I mean, I'm kind of sad as well, because I've heard a theory recently about The Flash and what the cliffhanger was going to be. And I have to say, I think it makes a lot of sense. And it gets me very, very excited. Now, I don't know if this will get wrapped up. I don't think it will, because, again, we know from Grant Gustin, he said there was a Reverse Flash cliffhanger that was going to happen, that's now not going to happen. At least not for this season. And it sounds amazing. Like, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's basically... It's a theory about the Reverse Flash and the body he's going to inhabit.
Yeah.
And he's going to take over Ramsey Rosso and become... That's the show's version of the Red Death.
That would be... actually, that would make sense.
It does, doesn't it? Like, if you think about it now, putting the pieces together, that makes sense. Especially with Ramsey coming back last episode and him kind of becoming the Red Death, I think would make a lot of sense for his character. And it would basically be Ramsey. It'd be like Senthil Ramamurthy playing like an evil speedster.
That'd be awesome.
So we don't know if we'll see it, obviously.
If we get denied that, I will be pissed.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get that next season if that is the plan. Again, this is all like a theory and speculation people are talking about. This isn't even like leaks or rumors or anything. This is just purely speculation. But it does make a lot of sense, I think. And that would be really cool. That'd be really cool. I'm excited about that. Like, if that is what... Like, I'm getting like so excited thinking about it. Even though it may not even be true, but it's just such a cool idea. Like, especially, I love Ramsey as a villain. I loved Sendhill playing him. If he gets to play like an evil speedster as like the Arrowverse's interpretation of Red Death, yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But yeah, let's delve into Arrow. Episode 5, Damaged. I'm just gonna say straight off the bat, I love this episode. I love this episode as well. I love it so much. Like, I forgot how, again, going into it, I knew I was going to like it, and I knew, because, again, I just remembered it, but I forgot how much I loved it. Like, this is such, like, pilot aside, because that's kind of, like, a special thing, this is my favourite episode of the season so far.
Same. I think this is better than the pilot.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I think it's better than the pilot.
I was scared too.
No, I thought it was better than the pilot. Like I said, I've already made said to people that I think that the pilot is a little bit overrated. I think like it's a very good pilot, but it's not like one of the best episodes of Arrow. But I actually think this one's better. I do think this one's better. Yeah, for reasons we will get into later. But I think mine are probably a bit more biased than yours.
Yeah, probably. But this episode follows on directly from the last episode where we see Oliver get arrested. He's now being withheld in SCPD, being interrogated by Quentin. And I love the fact, like, I love it initially where he's kind of just being detained there, and he obviously needs to get a lawyer, and he's like, I want Laurel, and we're like, yes, but Laurel's like, no. But I love the scene where he's in court, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be representing myself, and then it kind of goes on for a couple of minutes, and then Laurel just busts in the door. Like, it's just that scene which is just like, well, it's a good thing that this is circumstantial. She just walks straight in. I'm like, yes, Laurel. Like, she just handles it really well and delivers it really well the way she walks in. Love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's again. I forgot how much I love this episode as well. It's just amazing. Just absolutely
really
amazing.
It's fantastic. I love it. And then we do get to see like the famous polygraph scene, and this brought back like so many memories because it's just made me think about, because I always forget, like, Quentin calls back on this in season 6 right before he dies, where he's like, "Oh yeah, how did you pass that
so I
test?"
bet you were suffering major PTSD when you're watching this, because it's like you look at this and it makes you think of the season 6 finale, which is when Quentin died, and this is what he said.
Yeah, and he gave him his watch. But you know, I have a point about Quentin though. Like, it's kind of difficult to watch Quentin at this point because he's kind of supposed to be a villain, isn't he? At this point in the show, not a villain, but like, you know, he's kind of like an antagonist.
I think I wouldn't say he's a villain. I think he's just more of an obstacle.
Yeah, like he's just like you're not really supposed to like him, are you? Really, at this point.
But you are supposed to sort of understand why he is the way he is, because they clearly present it, because obviously with Sarah and you know, him losing his wife, you know, walking out on him, you understand why he is. I mean, I've never really heard anyone class him as a villain in season 1. I never thought him as a villain. I just always thought of him as an obstacle, because towards the end of the season, he obviously starts to work with Oliver, with the Hood. So for me, I never really interpreted him as a villain. But
villain was the wrong word. But like, yeah, definitely like an obstacle, because it's kind of difficult because you see him in this, and then it's just, you think about where he ends up, and it's just like, I think it's the hair. As soon as he loses the hair, it becomes like a full-on. It's still weird seeing Quentin with hair. It's still bizarre.
Yeah, it is strange. That just lets you know how long Arrow has been on for. Paul Blackthorne lost his hair. I still love you, Paul. I still love you, Paul.
Oh, we all do. I had a dream I met him at a con the other night. A man can only dream. But yeah, it's kind of just. I just love Quentin. I love him. I even like the scene where, like, at the end of the episode, when he obviously drops by and he saves Oliver, and he's like, "Oh, I'm dropping you of all your charges." And I like the fact that, like, Moira just comes up and is like, "Oh yeah, I know you hate my family," and then she's like, "You know, I know you've been through a lot, but get the hell out of my house." I just thought, like, Quentin looks so sad. I'm like,
I know. And then he just goes to drink himself afterwards.
Yeah.
It's quite depressing when you think about it.
It really is. Like, Quentin's just like, he's just trying to do his best here, and he's just like, just not getting he just needs a break, man. But I mean, he can't get too comfortable, because I mean, he's gonna lose like a daughter or two.
He's gonna lose what basically the equivalent is of about 10 daughters over the next 8 years. So I think this is just the beginning of his problems.
Yeah. It never really gets better for Quentin, does it?
No, he's been through a lot on this. I mean, sure, I've been stranded on an island for 5 years, but I mean, it's pretty close.
I mean, he does get laid in season 4, I guess, but
don't put that in my mind. Why did you have to say that?
He does get laid with Donna Smoke.
He doesn't get laid.
Again, I don't really know if that's a good thing.
What do you mean he gets laid? He doesn't.
He gets together with Donna Smoke.
But he doesn't bang her.
You don't know that.
Neither do you. I prefer to think that he didn't, because otherwise that makes season 4 even worse.
Well, all I'm saying is Paul Blackthorne confirmed it at Comic-Con.
Oh.
He said live on the panel. You can see this on YouTube. He said Lance got laid last season.
No. All right, that's it. Season 4. You're going in the bin, son. I'm getting those.
Stepdad.
I'm getting those discs now, and I'm breaking them. Oh my god, I can't. Oh my. We've got to watch season 4.
We have very, very exciting times.
Exciting! You deluded.
But Oliver is under house arrest in this episode as well, and this leads to what is the start of many different times where Diggle gets to take up the mantle of Green Arrow, kind of foreshadowing a lot of the things that will come later.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really cool with Diggle's Green Arrow initially.
Yeah. I remember, it's weird because when he started doing this early on, because it was something that you didn't get quite often, it was actually kind of cool to see it.
Yeah.
And then
it wasn't like in season 6 where they completely
where
butchered it.
yeah, they butchered it and they just made him Green Arrow for what felt like forever, and then we were all just standing around being like, "When's Oliver going to come back?"
And why have they made Diggle a whiny bitch?
But we won't speak about season 6 until we get there. But they ruined Diggle in that season
Easily.
Yeah, God, you're making me think of that argument now from episode 17.
Thing is, I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it. I have many thoughts on that episode. But it is cool to see Diggle in the suit, especially because it's the first time we see it, so it's a bit different. And also, I love the logic behind it. Like, I like the fact that Oliver's like, "Oh yeah, I need to prove my innocence," so he just sends Diggle out in the suit. It makes a lot of sense, and it's really cool just to see it. Because anytime we get to see, like, because I love, like, over the course of Arrow, we see so many different people in the suit. Like, you know, Ra's al Ghul goes in the suit at one point. Malcolm goes in the suit at one point. Roy, obviously. There's just so many people who get in the suit, and this is like the first time we saw that, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I will also mention as well, and that, like I said, that scene you're on about with Oliver and Diggle when he says to Diggle that he planned the whole thing. Nice little Batman reference as well. Says us billionaire vigilantes, we do love our toys.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. And then while Oliver's under house arrest, obviously he has that big party, which is all good and fun. But we have a great scene where he lets Laurel in. And,
yes, boys. I told you. This is Endgame. This is the Endgame couple. Who I watched this scene, all right, and I'm completely biased, so don't take my opinion seriously. What I'm saying, I felt goosebumps with this scene, and that's even if I take out my complete bias towards this shit. Like, I'm sorry, this should have been Endgame.
And also,
it should have been
fishnets.
Fishnets, yeah, exactly. This is the perfect scene. There is no flaws here.
It is great though, because he just lets her in, and then, like, you know, because Oliver's like so. I love the fact that because you just see in this season particularly how much he loves Laurel, because he is literally not showing or telling anybody anything about the island, anything about his past, and literally, as soon as she asks, like, she only has to ask once about the scars, and he, you know, he whips that shirt off and he shows her, and it just shows, like, how much he trusts her and how much he loves her, because he wants her, like, he wants to let her in, sort of thing. Yeah, which he doesn't want to do with anyone else. Yeah,
and you just brought it as well. And there's, like I say, I think Stephen Amell's acting, I've said this numerous times, is a bit iffy in season 1, but this is one of the episodes where it isn't. He was great during that scene, because you genuinely felt like it was Oliver, like, for once, actually wanting to be open to someone about what happened on the island, because he always tries to basically portray a fake version of himself, that he's still this playboy, that he's still this idiot and this jerk, when in reality that's not him. And, you know, this is one of the few moments where he's not like that, and it's not to someone like Diggle. You know, it's to someone like Laurel, who actually knows what he was like before the island. So, no, it was just a really great scene. And, I loved it as a Laura fan. I highly approve.
I mean, it just shows, doesn't it? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't want to get into an Olicity versus Laura thing, but I'm gonna bloody get into it. This is like I don't know how Olicity fans can look at this, like, season 1, and just be like, "Oh yeah, it was always meant to be a Felicity." It's just not.
It doesn't make sense. You see this scene, and it's so blatantly obvious, and then the way they try to retcon it in season 3, and then there's the fact that I know Olicity fans who I've not had arguments with, like, I've just had general conversation with them, and they told me that they don't consider season 1 canon simply for this reason. Like, they only consider season 2 onwards canon because they believe that
the season that introduced Felicity.
Season 2, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. And then it's like, oh, because season 2 is like where it started. I was like, not really, because they didn't really give Oliver any proper love interest in season 2 other than Sarah. But then he ends it with her, and you have that final scene where Oliver kisses Felicity, but then it's clearly explained that he had no feelings for her, and it was part of the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then recently what I did was that I started. For those guys who don't know, I'm currently doing an Arrow ranking video, and I've been gathering all the clips to put in that video. Trust me, it's been a fucking stressful nightmare to make that video. The amount of hours I've spent editing through clips. But I went through season 2, and it's so obvious to me that in that season they still try to set up Oliver and Laurel as the end game. It's clearly in season 3 when Andrew Kreisberg and Greg Berlanti left as showrunners. That's where they tried to make it holistic. So it's so obvious to me. And again, it might not seem like it to some of you guys, but if you watch the season back to back and you get to season 3, it's so obvious that, you know, clearly Oliver and Laurel were meant to be the endgame couple. It wasn't meant to be holistic.
And yeah, I think this scene is like the biggest example of that, because again, you just see how much he loves her in this episode. And even like Laurel, because I mean, obviously they end up kissing in this episode, and even Laurel's like, "Oh yeah, it's clear we still have feelings for each other." So like,
yeah,
it's just it's there, and it's just, I think it's undeniable.
Yeah, and what I noticed as well is what's in the scene where Laurel gives Oliver back his polygraph results.
Yeah,
and as he gets the paper and as Laurel turns away, I didn't notice until I watched it this time around. He sort of crunches the paper after she turns around to like almost show that he's annoyed that he thought, you know, he was back with her again, and now it's been taken away from him.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff, I never noticed this until this. Again, this is why I love doing these rewatches, because you pick up on things that you never notice beforehand at all.
It's really good stuff. So another storyline we have is Walter is getting a bit close. He's investigating the mysterious disappearance of the Gambit, and he found the wreckage last episode. So he sends someone to move it. I like how cool Walter is. That's the way. That guy to his office. He's like,
it's just like, this never happened.
Yeah, this meeting isn't happening.
You said this before. He should have come back.
He should have come back.
Why couldn't we have more of Walter? I love Walter.
When was his last appearance? Was he in like season 2?
I think it was season 2, the episode after Moira died, because they had that gathering, didn't they, in the Queen Mansion?
Yeah.
And he was there. I think that's the last time he appeared.
That's so weird, given like he's like a fairly big character in these first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy that he's like, or at least in this first season, at least, like, it's kind of crazy that he's not in it more. Really, like, I get that the guy is quite a busy actor, but like still, like, you couldn't got him back even for like one episode here and there. It just surprises me. But this is where we see Malcolm start to get involved as he kills the security guy who Malcolm or Walter sent out to move the Gambit. So this is where, like, again, the conspiracy just starts to grow a little bit more, and he starts to suspect Moira as well, which is cool. Well, not suspecting, like, full on. He's full on, like, yeah, I know. You
yeah. He has that. He has that scene in like the Queen Consolidated like headquarters where he just completely rips into his like, I know your language.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just love it. I love Walter so much. I love it just because of the fact that because they set up in this season, they just set up Moira as just this character. While she loves her kids and she loves her family, she's just a bit of a scumbag at times.
She pretends she cares, but she doesn't.
Yeah. But no, it's good, and I like how they get Malcolm more involved in the storyline as well, because obviously we saw him for the first time in the episode prior, and now you start seeing him having more of an effect, like on what's happening in the present. And then it's just a nice bit of setup before we get to the mid-season finale where we see him as the Dark Archer. But no, I enjoyed that, and I also completely forgot that he sent his little bodyguard to go and kill Oliver in his rave. I completely forgot about that.
That's a great fight scene as well. I like that one a lot. It's that move that Oliver does where like he sticks his leg up and just like full on like flips him over. It's great.
And then Quentin of all people saves him.
Oh yeah. The first little signs of Quentin and Oliver working together. The true son and father of the Arrowverse.
Yeah, and they're cruelly taken away from each other in season 6.
Don't. I can't. See, I'm gonna struggle when we get to season 6 because his brain a build up.
His brain was desupplied of oxygen for 11 minutes. He's
Deprived,
gone.
Actually,
Deprived. Oh, sorry. This
is an amateur hour, is it? Get it right.
Do you want me to play the clip? Do you want me to play the clip again so you can go cry?
No, because it's not good for my health. But the flashbacks also get a lot more interesting now.
Oh, this is where the flashbacks become top tier.
This is where they kick off. We see him starting off with Yao Fei, our boy Byron. my boy Byron.
Still no
Hunting-
Woo Assassin season 2.
I don't care. I really do. But he's hunting some wabbit and it's wabbit season, and he gets captured by a certain Edward Fires. I cannot believe they brought him back in season 8. That blew my mind.
I know.
But this is where we get introduced to Edward Fires, and it seems as if it's this big military sort of PMC kind of thing set up on the island. They are hunting for a certain Byron man. We get to see a photo of him from he's like an ex-Chinese military. This is before all the long hair and the beard and everything. I like the fact, like, I always forget this bit where, like, it's always just like Yao Fei was an ex-military guy who was like involved in the story. I always forget about that. But they are hunting for him, and they think that Oliver knows where he is. Obviously he does. But this is where we get to see sort of the parallel to the polygraph thing, where he knows how to not give up information. That was tortured by what we thought then was Deathstroke, but
I lost my mind when I saw this episode for the first time, and I just saw Billy Wintergreen come in. I'm just like, holy shit, is this Deathstroke?
Do you know what's weird?
This
on the Amazon, because I'm watching it on Amazon Prime, and in the description on the Amazon Prime, it calls him Deathstroke.
Lies.
Clearly that's what they were going for at the time. They're trying to like throw you off, but yeah, we see this version of Deathstroke, or Billy Wintergreen, torturing Oliver, and it kind of shows how he learned not to give up information or give up any kind of signs of weakness.
Yeah, that again was just another great scene, just because it was just they did such a really good job of just linking the flashbacks to the present day. It was just it was so good. It was just such a good scene.
Between Yao Fei and Billy.
Oh yeah,
I love that fight scene.
Absolutely destroys Billy.
Oh, he does.
Billy definitely took the L there.
Definitely. Like Yao Fei just busts in. He like shoots one arrow straight, frees Oliver, and then just absolutely kicks his ass. It's fantastic. I mean, just imagine if Byron would have survived, and we would have got like so many more seasons of him just being on the team. He would have been like invincible.
Yeah, but he didn't though. He got shot in the head.
There would have been no villain that could have ever taken down Byron, especially in recent times when he gets fire powers and then just kind of goes from there. He can shoot like fire arrows. Damien Dark,
Are you trying to say that Woo Assassins is set on an alternate Earth in the Arrowverse?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
In the ex-Chinese military Yao Fei, who actually got experimented on and got given Woo powers. He became the Fire Woo, and that was that.
This show is hot garbage.
Hashtag watch Woo Assassins. But yeah, that's about everything I have to say.
I will say as well with this episode, I'll quickly mention the amazing poop face that Stephen Amell makes that I sent the picture off to Declan.
Oh yes.
Oh, that was amazing.
Meme glory.
Meme glory central. I also really like the monologue by Diggle at the end, where he speaks about Oliver and him not understanding how his lies impact those around him, even though it's so easy for him to lie to others. And then you kind of have like scenes overlapping this of like Thea holding that hose in, and then Walter's just completely bailing on Moira, and then you have Quentin just sat alone, all drunk at a bar.
No,
it was such a great monologue, and then you have the ending fight scene with Oliver with Leo Mueller, and that was such a badass way to end the episode.
Yeah,
just like holding off the entire episode, seeing him as Green Arrow, and then just get him at the end, and it's just absolutely badass. It was really, really cool, and I really, really like that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and also I will say as well, this episode has a lot of deleted scenes, because I watched them, as for I do for all the episodes when I watch them, because I've got the Blu-ray, I watched the deleted scenes afterwards. There's like 6 minutes worth of deleted scenes in this episode, which is insane. I'm trying to remember, like one of them.
Content?
Not really. There's a few scenes. There's one scene where they establish the guy that Malcolm sends to kill Oliver, because he's obviously a bartender. It's the scene right after Laura runs off from Oliver, and you see her going past, and he's there at this little like counter area serving drinks, and you see him picking up a gun. There's that. There's like an alternate version of Oliver and Diggle's conversation about him planning to get arrested, and then there's like a scene where Laurel meets with Quentin in the bar, but that's where she gets the polygraph test. It's just nothing that like too essential, but it's just I was astounded when I looked at it. I was just like 6 minutes, Jesus, because usually it's only about a minute. Like with the Arrowverse lead scenes per episode, you usually don't get a lot. So the fact it was 6 was just crazy. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
It's because this episode was so god tier. They had so much content.
Oh yeah.
So that does leave us into lead us into our ranking, or our rating, I should say. I mean, we agreed that I'd go first again.
10.
So
I'm giving it 10.
Is that your predicting? Is that what your prediction?
Yeah, I think you'll give it 10.
And you are correct. I'm banging it out, banging out a 10 out of 10. It's I honestly have no complaints. I love this episode. I loved it so much. I thought it was amazing. So enjoyable. Like, this is the thing as well, because we were meant to record this episode 2 days ago, and Dan wasn't able to, and I watched the episode that day, and I actually watched it again tonight in preparation, and I had no issue doing so, because I was like, I really want to watch it again because I loved it. So yeah, I'm banging out a 10 out of 10.
No, yeah, the streak continues. It's 10 out of 10 from me. I've got 10 out of 10 written. I had it written down on here. I love this episode as well. Probably for me one of the best episodes of this first season, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of really good episodes.
Yeah, this is my favorite episode so far. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like I mentioned earlier, I do enjoy it more than the pilot, just because I think it's just a bit more focused and it's just a bit more refined than the pilot, and it's just, like I said, just so many great things in this episode. I wasn't bored at one point, and that's weird because you don't see Oliver put on the Arrow costume until the last minute of the episode, and yet despite that, it's just so engaging throughout. And just because obviously he's put in the situation where the walls are closing in on him, and you just want to see how Oliver gets out of it, and it's just so well done. And also, it's got a lot of Laura in it, which obviously is a bonus for me. If you could,
Byron in it.
Oh, it's got a lot of Byron in. It's got a lot of Fires in. Quentin. Got a lot of Diggle. We get Diggle in the Arrow suit. I mean, what's not to love?
Literally,
what is not to love about this episode?
Full package.
It has virtually everything. The only thing it needs is just a little sprinkle of Josh Segura. But obviously, they didn't know that then. So I'll let them off the hook.
Yeah. You know, we can't have literally everything, but this is as close to perfect as you can get for Arrow, really. Yeah. Amazing episode. Loved it. But what do you guys think about this episode? Make sure you let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think this is the best so far, or are you having do you have a different opinion? Whatever you think, let us know in the comments down below. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be coming in the next few days. Also, I forgot to say as well, as of recording this is completely irrelevant, given that by the time I actually get off my arse and get this episode up, it will not be this day anymore.
May the 4th.
Happy May the 4th.
May the 4th. Everyone. We have to say that because we are sad Star Wars fans that somehow, and also because we enjoyed the Rise of Skywalker, which is a sin against humanity,
and I still love it. Like, I literally watched it today. That's my 4th viewing of the movie.
4th viewing, damn.
I watched it 3 times in cinema, and I watched it today for the first time in 4K. It was beautiful.
I've still not brought it. I still
love it. I think it's so much fun, and I genuinely. And the thing is, I can't. Like, if you hate The Rise of Skywalker, I completely get it. I completely understand why. And to be honest, all the criticisms people have of the movie, I completely agree with. I just enjoy it. I enjoy it on the same level I enjoy every Star Wars movie. I just think it's fun. And it is emotional for me. I found it very satisfying as an ending. I loved it. And it was funny. Do you know what pisses me off most about Rise of Skywalker? And, like, people do talk about this, but nobody talks about it anywhere near as much as some of the other stuff. Is the bit where Chewie gets a medal. That's honestly the thing that annoys me the most about Rise of Skywalker, but whatever. It's a digression. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we hope to see you guys again soon in the next one, whenever that is.
Hashtag Loriver is endgame.
And also hashtag Woo Assassin Season 2.